perform for you for my band portion of this is the 6th grade band. So this is a big deal because this is their first band concert ever. So let's give them a round of applause just for that. Their time and their efforts into this, and they have put on a great show for you, so they're excited to show you. But I will say, as they have, worked really hard, when we first started, it was a little interesting, but it's okay. That's just how it goes, right? That's how a first day goes. You get your instrument, they're excited to make some noises, notes, right? But it's fine. So we decided we wanted to show you really where they started, because you can't appreciate where they're at now, right? Until you see where they're starting. So this is about what that first day of band sounded like. Laughters and giggles, which I love. That's the best part. So, but we did get better. You're welcome. And now we are able to kind of showcase every instrument that we have. So this next one we're going to show you is Good King Wenceslas, and this is going to feature every single instrument section in the band. You guys hear a little bit on their specific instrument. So if you're like, I wonder what my kid's doing in band, now you got to hear a little bit, so that's really great. So the next kind of step in the process of music and learning how to play pieces is adding different parts together. So the next one we're going to show you that they're learning is Jolly Old St. Nicholas, right? Yeah, Jolly Old St. Nicholas. And that one has 2 different parts that they're playing at the same time to create harmonies and differences in the music themselves. You can see me frantically scrambling through this big, massive book. This is the book that they start to learn their instrument on. So after we learn the basic, make the horrible sounds, learn the basic things, add those elements together, then we can start playing whole pieces. So this is what we have worked on today for you, and this is going to be Jingle Bells, which is their first full piece. So this is super epic, so make sure that you give them a nice big round of applause when they're done. The next one that we have for you is quite a performance. So, we would like to tell you the story of the Diary of a Grumpy Elf.
Dear Diary, today was the third day working for Mr. C, and I got the never-ending job of decorating the castle. I never want to see another bow of holly as long as I live. Dear Diary, it's day 4 and the new reindeer harnesses arrived defective. Instead of having sleigh bells, they came with cowbells. Finally done. In spite of all the troubles, I'm lucky to be a Christmas elf. Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
For our wonderful elf, Leon, that's Noel spelled backwards, Max. I asked the 7th graders, I was like, who do you want your elf to be? And they go, Max. And Max was like, okay. And so I love that, so very nice job. All right, one more round of applause for these awesome students. is actually a member of the Junior Psi League in Cincinnati, which you're like, what is that? That is a huge accomplishment. I want to make this very clear. That is Cincinnati Conservatory of Music. That is the ensemble that he is in. So he is in like the junior high version of wind ensembles in that. So big round of applause for him because he is. So we only have 2 songs for the wind symphonic band tonight, but these are 2 very challenging songs. They require different aspects of musicianship, and so we really wanted to hone into that. So with that being said, I want to give you kind of a thank you for coming as we do our last song here, and this last piece for you is going to be called Adventum. thank you all so much for coming. I want to say thank you to everybody that has helped us out. Kevin, thank you. Jacob McKibben, thank you. Bauer, thank you. Everything, thank you. I know that's always like a crazy thing, so thank you so much. Thank you to the administration for letting us do this tonight and being here. And thank you to the parents for getting your kids here, making sure they have contact plaque. Yes, I'm a crazy person, but it's important. All right. And yes, making sure that every ducks were in a row and all of the things. You make this happen. And thank you to our boosters. Thank you to everybody that makes the ship go forward. And then lastly, thank you so much to Ms. Prescott and Ms. Minning for having the silent auction over here to help us off with class. That's really great for them. So make sure you check that out before you leave if you haven't already. I think they're probably going to announce some of the winners, I'm guessing. But thank you all so much for coming out. And let's just give a big last round of applause for all